Hey guys, it's Exorcist again. I know I haven't made a post in a while. The new Ogress server has come out, the single account server, and I've been playing it a lot. It's pretty fun. Um, as you can see, I mean, I think we're about 1 week after the servers came out, and this is where I'm at so far. I mean, I haven't been like super hardcore playing or anything. I've been mostly busy with just real life stuff, but I mean, it's fun to play here and there. I mean, I think I'm still pretty far ahead where most people are, even considering the fact that I haven't really played all that much. You know, what's funny is I actually I bought the early access because I was just bored one day because I've been playing Dofus 1 for a while. Oops, that hurts. Um, and I just randomly checked because I was curious to see if there was any information about the new server coming out. And, uh, the second I checked, it was the day I checked, the servers had just come out. And I was like, oh, great. I guess I'll play that. So I threw on the old early access purchase. I don't know what that sentence was. Sometimes I feel like I can't actually play this game and talk at the same time, but yeah, I mean, I downloaded it. I mean, I had to download the whole game all over again because I hadn't played in months. I actually completely got rid of. I sold all my equipment on Rubelax on my Hupper Mage because I knew that the server was going to go. I mean, the server, it's still there, but I'm sure it's dead. Like, I haven't been on it. If you compare the population to what Ogrist has right now, it's kind of insane to think that this game could have ever had this many players at the same time. I think it's super fun. I mean, I have been playing with the chats all off because I think, I mean, I haven't even joined a guild, I don't have my friends list is empty. I have seen some people that I recognize, but for the most part, I've just been playing exclusively solo. I haven't even grouped with one person since the server started. Is this fine to walk on? Yeah. I haven't grouped with one person since the server started. I've just been going by myself, doing about my business. That's not even that bad. If you're curious what my equipment's looking like right now, this is what I got. I'm using Blood Ring and Gelano. I'm pretty happy about these, cause if you've been playing this game for a while, you know that rings suck. They're horrible, right? So why would you want to get like a relic where you, or an epic even, where you're gonna replace it in like 40 levels? That doesn't make any sense, right? So I figured I might as well just get. I knew I wanted to get an epic and relic ring. I didn't know which one. Gelano is actually kind of expensive. I mean, you can see the sell price is actually 1.2 mil, but I think I spent more than that because I wanted the. That's on me. I wanted the aura and I wanted the title. As for the Blood Ring, it's significantly cheaper, and most people I don't think they don't really like it because it's one element, but because I'm Hupper Mage, it doesn't really matter. In fact, something with a lot of one element is actually super good for Hupper Mage. This is what my stats are looking like right now. They're not amazing, but I guess they're not that. Let me use my heart so you can see what my mastery is looking about 1,000. I mean, that's not even bad, I guess. Compared to the enemies I'm fighting, I have about the same amount of mastery, right? So, I think a lot of people are probably wondering how to level on this server. It's not as hard as you think. I think a lot of people are intimidated by the leveling process. They think they have to have like a super like efficient method. And what's going on here? Why is my... They feel like they have to have like a super efficient method, and they feel like if they had started if they start now, like it's a waste of time and stuff like that. I honestly disagree. I think that you can start whenever you want, and it's probably easier to level the later you start, right? Because the gear will be cheaper, the kind of gear you can buy. If you're wondering how do you get commas, well, that's a good question. Um, Basically, most of the commas that I have gotten have been from Treasure Hunter. I think I've almost unlocked every treasure in the game. I never got the positive Echo Flip because I think I just forgot they existed. Right, like, you can get that at level 65. I totally forgot that exists. So I skipped it, and I just did the rift. But essentially what you want to do is, when you start out, just try to get to the level to use the Tantal Rift, which is, what? 21, not even that hard to get, right? Get to the Tantal Rift, and then just do it a decent amount. If you're subscribed, if you're boosted, whatever, it'll be way faster, right? Than if you're not. But it might take you a few hours, a few runs of doing that to get to level 65. Do the positive Echo Flip quest, you'll get a bunch of money. Save that money for a relic, because you're going to want to have a relic at some point. I don't even know why I cast that. And an epic, obviously. You want to have both, right? I guess I just keep fighting these until it ends, because no one... You know how maybe on, like, old servers, people would actually stop at 5, and that way everyone would get the most out of the environmental quests? Well, people don't really do that on this server. I mean, I don't blame them. You want to make sure that you're getting the rank 1 spot if you think you can get it. So yeah, I mean, you cycle between doing the main story, not main story quest. I haven't done any main story quests at all. I'm sure there's some XP involved there, but cycle between doing the mostly just island quests, right? Like the quest for example, like the Wabbit Island quest. You know, that gives you the bow quadding. It gives you a bunch of money and a bunch of XP, like a lot of XP. Because Treasure Hunter doesn't just give money, it also gives a ton of XP. And then, you know, you want to keep going on the rifts and do your almanacs every day. Make sure you get a Twixler candy, which is a plus 100 wisdom candy. Use it in the rift. I mean, it only works for one fight, but, you know, you get a lot more XP. So it feels worth it. I don't really think that anything else in the Almanac's machine is actually worth saving up for. I mean, I guess you could if you wanted to get, like, I don't know, like the Meridia insignia or one of the fancy costumes. I guess you could do that, but no one is really doing that. I think everyone's using the Twixler candies to level faster. You know, I was never on here specifically so that I could be like the first level 230 Hupper Mage. Like, I knew I wasn't going to be able to. I have like a real life and I have things going on. I'm in computer science school and all that, so I don't really have the most time in the world to play this game. But I have found plenty of time to play it, and I've had a lot of fun. So, I mean, you know, level 164, I think it's pretty good, right, for one weekend. What else is there to even talk about? Oh yeah, you know what I wanted to talk about? Hupper Mage got some changes in one of the most recent updates. I guess it wasn't like a huge change. The changes weren't huge, right? I think the main changes were, for example, the AP regeneration from Dynamo was actually just made into a innate part of the class. So you have that no matter what. You don't need to equip a passive to have that anymore. In fact, he changed Dynamo to literally just be runes disappear at the end of turn. And I know a lot of people were saying that, man, that sucks. Like, why does that passive do nothing? I'm never going to use it anymore. It's literally a downgrade to not using it. And I think you need to understand that if you've been playing this class, I mean, I played it a lot. Don't get me wrong, the class hasn't been out for that long. But you need to understand that runes only lasting one turn is kind of a good thing, because, and not just kind of a good thing, but that means you can always regenerate the 1 AP whenever you create a new rune. You can better control your last rune generated. It opens up a whole lot of different things you couldn't do that you couldn't do before, where your runes were lasting more than one turn. So I think it's actually better than people give it credit for being, as a passive that just makes your runes only last one turn. Also, this is a passive now. It used to just be Heart of Light last 2 turns, but now you get the extra QB regeneration effect is in the it's in the passive now. And I know a lot of people were worried because he took out the passive, the part of the passive that allows you to double your QB regeneration. And what I'll tell you is you don't need it, because this passive actually gives 20 per AP anyway, as before it was only 10, and you needed a whole passive to double that up to 20 per AP. So it's fine. Like, it's not, you didn't get nerfed at all. One thing I will say is, after having taken a long break from this game, I think there's some things that about Hupper Mage that they seriously need to... Oh, I got second place, that sucks. There's some things about this class that they seriously need to reconsider. Like, the main thing that I have a problem with is this spell right here. Glistening Halo is just so... It was such a good idea, but it came out really OP, and I think the main reason why it was so OP is because of rogues. It's not even because of Hupper Mage, it's because of rogues. Because you could put the Glistening Halo down on every single one of the rogue bombs, could have one, and then when they blow up their bombs, each of the halos would go off and detonate each other, and then they would all go off and do extra damage, and only to enemies in the area. And it kind of, I mean, I never really saw it in action, but it seemed really broken when I had tested it and realized that, yeah, you can stack this with rogue bombs. So I'm assuming that is what made them nerf it, because if you look at the actual nerfs themselves, you know, think about the nerfs that they gave it. Like, they nerfed the base damage. So the base damage is pretty nerfed. I think it used to be 100 and something. It used to be definitely over 100 for sure. In fact, I think it was 115 without a crit. So the fact that it's this low is kind of bad, although it still hits pretty hard per AP. They also made the AoE shape smaller. It used to hit 13 cells, now it only hits 9. And the worst part about it is you can't cast it on summons at all. Which really sucks. I mean, I understand why they made it like that. They were like, well, you know, we don't want it to be really OP with rogue bombs, and okay, fine. Like, that's perfectly fine and all, but I think you should really consider that not being able to cast one of your spells on any summon ever is kind of bad design. Yeah, you should find a way to get around that instead of just deactivating the spell on certain enemies. I really think that design choice was horrible, and it kind of, I'm not going to say completely ruined the spell, but I will say that it is, and the only reason I'm going to say that is because there was multiple things that ruined this spell, and that's just one of them. So, I don't know. I was thinking about, like, what could they do to change it? Honestly, I think they just need to redesign the whole spell. It's got a mark effect, right? There's potential for that to be really good. Imagine if it, imagine if it was like a poison, when the character that has the mark, or the halo, starts their turn, they take damage, or on allies, it heals them, and then when triggering them, they trigger the same way. It only heals. It heals all allies in the area, and maybe it does a single target damage. I mean, single target area is not even a thing anymore, right? so I think it'd be fine if they did this. It does single target damage to the target that the halo is on, right? So while the halos are on, the target who has it will get healed at the start of the turn. The target who, or if they're an enemy, they'll take damage at the start of their turn. And then when it triggers, those targets will get healed and or take damage in a significant amount that warrants popping the halo, but it will still pop in the same chain reaction way as it was before, which makes it feel like it still has that unique aspect to it. I know that's really complicated, but I feel like that would be a good way to limit the potential abuse with rogue bombs, because when the rogue bombs have the halo, it wouldn't really do much because rogue bombs can't be healed. They can be healed, but they don't get a turn. So the only way to heal them would be to trigger the halos so that they do that single target heal on the bomb, which, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world that you could do, but anyway, I just think that that's maybe something I would do, where the halos affects only on the target of the halo, but they can trigger each other to trigger for one more big thing. I also think that, well, that's nice. That might be an upgrade. Let's see. Can't equip it, but it is an upgrade. Let's see if it gives me water. It did. The other thing that I was really concerned about when I came back is I remember talking about how the earth branch is really cool and the air branch is really cool. The water and fire branches are really weird and kind of bad. Like, Energy Flux is the best fire spell, but I don't use it because I prefer Luminescent Disc's range and also not being in a straight line. Which, you'll notice I like to use it like this. I think I talked about this before. At this range with Luminescent Disc, you can combo Luminescent Disc into Twilight Beam, and then, I don't know, like, the debuffing effects on these spells are all kind of weak. I guess maybe the minus 30 block that you could do with free hits is maybe not that bad, but I don't know, it only lasts for one turn, it's only minus 30. It's not, like, if you're interested in the math of Wakfu, one block on average is valued similarly in the stats to one resistance. So, in the end, minus 30 block is very similar to having minus 30 resistance. But minus 30 resistance isn't that much, especially for something that you have to spend how much AP on? You need an Earth Rune, so that's 1 AP. And then 3 casts of this, that's going to be 5 more AP. So that's 6 AP to do minus 30 block to one target for one turn. It's just horrible. I'm sorry. It's just really bad. Luminescent Disc, also kind of bad. Light of Dawn, kind of bad. Downpour is a good spell. This is actually, like, the exception, right? In these two branches. It's really good. Walloping is bad. Like, it has better numbers than Downpour per AP, so I guess that's the only reason. If you happen to roll this when you pick up your Water Rune. But, like, other than that, these two spells are kind of bad, especially this one that uses a QB. And, I don't know. I feel like Vestige should have something to do with AP stealing or AP granting, and not this damage inflicted stuff. It is clock, after all. Like, it should have something to do with AP. I don't know about Walloping. I just think that they could probably rethink a lot of these abilities. I don't personally like Light Sword or Shiny Orbs, but that could just be because of my own gameplay. Runification is also weird because it's a 3-turn cooldown. The damage buff is per rune. It also costs QB, so it's a high cost. You get a lot out of it, but I think this should be like maybe a 5-turn cooldown and last 2 turns instead. I think would make more sense. I also think that Solar Stronghold is complete garbage. I think this is the definition of a rushed out ability. It shouldn't be giving elemental resist. It should definitely be giving some kind of damage reduction that's not elemental resistance. It should give, like, maybe it could give block, or maybe it could give just a 20% damage reduction, minus 20% damage received. That would make more sense than just 100 resistance. Other than that, I guess the class is fine. But anyway, I just wanted to. I just was bored, I guess. Wanted to make something. I haven't made something in a while, so hopefully this video doesn't suck ass. Although I'm sure it does. And I will see you guys around.